Hello everyone, my name is Samantha, also known as Glaciana on this channel, and welcome to my playthrough of Remastered Reaver 2. So, a lot of people asked for my playthrough of this game. So last year I played through the Remastered Reaver 1 game, and that was a blind run, so that was me just going straight into it and fully completing everything, a full playthrough. This time I have already played through the Remastered Reaver 2. I sort of speed ran it to get all the achievements at the time, so that's technically already done. And we've just had Defiance Remaster announced, so that's very exciting. And so I thought I better get this playthrough on my channel as well and just go through the whole game and talk about why I love it and everything about it. So I'm trying to do a shorter intro because I have already done a big explanation of why I'm playing this and why I'm a self-proclaimed super fan of the Legacy of Kain series. But a quick intro if you didn't see the one from my first playthrough, which I highly recommend if you love this series or are interested to learn about it. Please do watch my playthrough of the first game Remastered. I go into a lot more detail about the game because I know that game more than all of the others. That's the one I have the most knowledge on. But the gist of it is I have loved these games since I was a little kid, absolutely obsessed. I'll put up a picture here of my my collection of Legacy of Kain stuff, and lately it's been very exciting as a Legacy of Kain fan because we're getting so much new content, and Defiance has just been announced, so that's incredible. I'm wearing my Raziel and Kain shirt, which I got a little while ago. It was really cool, so I'm going to wear that for the playthrough, which I think I wore this for the first playthrough as well. So this game is a lot more linear and a lot more story focused, I would say. So it's a shorter game, there's a lot less running around and finding secrets. It's more like you get there and you watch the incredible voice acting and cutscenes, which is great. So there might be a lot of moments when I'm quiet or just listening to the voice acting, etc. So yes, let's get into it. As said, I did already play through this. In fact, let's have a look at my loaded games. Yeah, my saves. So yeah, I've already done it. So if I just start a whole new game, I'll talk about it as we go along and what's so cool about it, and I'll be flicking between the old graphics and the new graphics, etc. So yeah, let's get into it and enjoy the long cutscenes.
At last. I must say I'm disappointed in your progress. I imagined you'd be here sooner. Tell me, did it trouble you to murder your brothers?
Did it trouble you when you ordered me into the abyss?
Eternity is relentless, Raziel. When I first stole into this chamber centuries ago, I did not fathom the true power of knowledge. To know the future, Raziel. To see its paths and streams tracing out into the infinite. As a man, I could never contain such forbidden truths. But each of us is so much more than we once were. Do you not feel with all your soul how we have become like gods? As such, are we not indivisible? As long as a single one of us stands, we are legion. Our futures are predestined. Moebius foretold mine eons ago. We each play out the parts fate has written for us. Free will is an illusion.
I found the tomb of Sarafan, Kain. How could you profane a priest by turning him into a vampire?
How could I not? One must keep his friends close, Raziel. And his enemies even closer. Who better to serve me than those whose passion transcends all notions of good and evil?
The Sarafan were saviors, defending Nazgul from the corruption that we represent. My eyes are opened, Kain. I find no nobility in the unlife you rudely forced on my unwilling corpse.
You may have uncovered your past, but you know nothing of it. You think the Sarafan were noble, altruistic? Oh, don't be simple. Their agenda was the same as ours. You nearly had me, Raziel. But this is not where or how it ends. Fate promises more twists before this drama unfolds completely.
There's like no way Raziel heard that whisper from all the way down there.
Raziel, Redeemer and Destroyer, Pawn and Messiah. Welcome, time-span soul. Welcome to your destiny. Where am I? Is the usual question. In your case, when might be more apt.
Very well, you old snake. If you'd prefer I use my bare hands...
This is completely unexpected. This orb disables our vampire enemies, leaving them helpless and incapacitated. Strangely, it seems to have the same effect on that peculiar weapon of yours. But you must believe me. I mean you no harm.
You can drop the benevolent facade, Moebius. I know who and what you are. I should kill you where you stand.
Perhaps you should, my boy. But you don't.
Are you so certain of that, Moebius?
My role as Time Guardian affords me a certain level of omniscience, Raziel. No, you don't kill me. That honor belongs to your maker, Kain, some 30 years from now.
Ah, you two are a pair, but just as fatalistic as he is.
Death comes for us all, Raziel. It's just a matter of time.
Kill him now.
How is it that you know my name? We have never met.
On the contrary, Raziel, I know you very well. And it grieves me to see how cruelly Kain has used you. I knew you when you were one of the Sarafan Brotherhood, Raziel. We were even close.
Oh, please.
Fortunately, you need not love me now to be my ally.
Are we within the stronghold of the Sarafan priesthood?
Yes, but the glorious days of the Sarafan have long since passed, I'm afraid. This is a more cynical and indecorous age. My mercenary army now inhabits this stronghold. We strive to honor the memory of the Sarafan with our own humble crusade.
Is this the vampire Vorador?
Yes, the scourge of the Circle, the most depraved and decadent example of his whole degenerate race. He slaughtered 6 of my fellow Guardians as they cowered defenseless in this room.
And you somehow survived this massacre?
I and 2 others. The Circle was devastated. Only we 3 were spared.
How convenient. You'll forgive me if I don't naively devour every scrap of information you toss me. You have a reputation for deceit.
And who has slandered me so? Your malefactor, Kain? The one who betrayed and destroyed you? Our common enemy? Consider the source before you judge me too harshly. We'll forget about rekindling our old friendship, but consider an alliance based on our common ground. We both want Kain dead. I can help you do it.
You don't want to meddle in this, old man. I know all about your sordid little schemes, but you're simply out of your depth on this one.
You underestimate me, Raziel. Let me show you. Even now, Kain is lying in wait for you, unaware that I've snatched you out of the time stream and brought you here to me. See how he lingers at the very pillars he is destined to destroy, foolishly confident that he has eluded your grasp.
The pillars are still standing in this time.
Yes, Raziel. They are the embodiment of the divine force which preserves the life of our world. We who serve the pillars maintain their delicate balance, and Kain is destined to be the fulcrum upon which that balance turns. I believe you have already endured the wasteland wrought by his terrible, selfish decision. Kain's very existence is a cancer upon this world. As long as he lives, all of Nosgoth is in peril. You may never again be human, Raziel. But you can re-embrace the essence of your humanity and the nobility of your Sarafan heritage. Go to him, Raziel, and end this. But first, you will need to find your way out of the Stronghold, and in this, I'm afraid I cannot help you. My soldiers will not understand your appearance here. They will try to kill you. You needn't fear them, of course. They're no match for you. Try to keep the casualties to a minimum. But do what you have to do. All great movements require a few martyrs.
Alone now, I surveyed my surroundings and noticed a second time-streaming chamber. Its entrance identical to the first, but with one distinction. That crystal was significant, but how? I had not yet discovered.
There we go. Big cutscene. Richard Doyle does the voice acting for Moebius. Very, very good. And yes, Moebius is not to be trusted. So after the last game, we'd obviously just recently found out that we were a Sarafan priest, which was a vampire hunter. And as far as Raziel knows at the moment, that's a good cause to have been involved in, but obviously shocking since he's been a vampire for 1,000 years serving Kain. So his whole world view got completely turned around. And there in that discussion he was surprised to know that the pillars are still standing, because obviously Raziel has no memory of his human life. So he is surprised to he's never seen them. As far as he knows right now, he's never seen them standing, so that's going to be quite a moment to witness. So there's an achievement for using every weapon. Again, I've already done it, but basically, just as a guide, just grab everything and use it at least once as soon as you see a weapon. The hardest ones to remember are the ones in the puzzles later. Just going to quickly adjust the music, it's quite loud. Sound can go up a bit, speech is fine. That's better. And yeah, during the cutscene I was obviously flicking between the two different modes. So this is old PS2 era. Where was that bat? I just saw a little bat flying around. Oh, there he is. Should we see the PS2 bat? There you go, that's the remastered bat. An actual bat. And that's what it was in PS2. A strange blob creature with wings. We've got rats running around as well. I mean, at the time, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. This was perfect. And there we go, remastered. Sort of one back here. Amazing. So not too much has changed up here. Obviously things are just a bit tidier. Stained glass windows are just tidied up, but not too much had to be changed in terms of upscaling, which is interesting. Obviously we've got the same improved Raziel model from the first remastered game. They obviously used it for this, which is nice for consistency, because this model obviously was a huge upgrade from PS1 Raziel, but yeah, upgraded again for the remasters, of course. Should I pick that guy's sword up? Probably. Stab in the chest. So yes, at the minute I don't actually have the Soul Reaver because of Moebius' staff disabling it for some reason. It can skip a lot of people.
Throughout the Stronghold, I discovered evidence of my former nobility and my life as a Sarafan priest. This was the heritage so foully stolen from me when Kain raided my sacred crypt and defiled me.
Over what, sorry? His voice cut out. So yeah, when a gate closes, you obviously have to fight the enemies that are there. Michael Bell, who is the voice of Raziel, he does a lot of these NPCs as well, so quite often you'll hear a familiar voice. It's distracting sometimes, but I love it anyway. That's him there. He's just such an iconic voice actor. I'm going to lose this sword anyway. And one of the huge changes in this version, the original Soul Reaver 2, I believe that was the first thing that popped up, which was the Soul Reaver. So whenever you would pause to change the spirit world, you'd have to move over to the right to go to the spirit world option. So if you remember from from the first game, that's not how it worked, so it was quite an annoying thing. So that was corrected for the remaster, which is just amazing. Brilliant. Oh, that's something new as well. So souls have got retextured in the spirit world. They have this skull effect, which is interesting. Interesting choice. In the first game, of course, they were just green and just floating.
Away from the influence of Moebius's cursed staff, I could feel the strength of the Soul Reaver slowly returning. If that orb was as debilitating to vampires as it was to the blade, it gave Moebius a powerful advantage over his enemies. I finally understood how Moebius's crusade could decimate the vampires so successfully. If he could immobilize his enemies, they were at his mercy. But why, I wondered, would the staff have any effect on the Reaver?
Why? Look at my health bar. Woohoo! the whole idea of a finisher with your claws is really cool. It's something that was added for Reaver 2. The smoothness of the game as well was also just amazing. Obviously the PS2 had a lot more capabilities, so it could do all sorts, but this whole jump smoothness was one of the first things I remember noticing when we played the game for the first time back in the day.
As I neared the Stronghold's inner sanctum, a strange sensation crept over me. An indescribable feeling of displacement, a sense of vertigo, as reality itself appeared to warp and bend around me. The disturbance seemed to emanate from the sanctuary's furthest chapel. As I cautiously approached, the sense of dislocation intensified with each step. So this was the tomb of the beloved King William the Just, beatified here as the martyr and catalyst of Moebius's crusade. I was reminded of Kain's journey as a fledgling vampire, how Moebius coerced him to travel back in history and assassinate William, thus igniting a genocidal hatred of vampires among the citizens of Nosgoth. And here I discovered the source of the displacement. The Soul Reaver itself, laid out like a holy relic, and broken, apparently in the battle between William and Kain. I had not thought such a thing was possible, until, of course, Kain shattered the blade against me when he tried to strike me down. Thus, the captive spirit inhabiting the Reaver was released, and binding itself to me, became my symbiotic weapon. And so the Reaver met its former self, still imprisoned in this corporeal shell. I watched, mesmerized, as the Wraith blade uncoiled itself and snaked down the length of the physical blade. Embracing its twin, its mirror self, the Reaver's long-dormant spirit was now fully aroused. And for the first time, I felt the true presence of this other entity, willful, ravenous, and deranged from thousands of years of imprisonment. The Reaver was now in command, and I, now merely its helpless host, felt my soul being leached to restore the blade. But the Reaver knew better than to destroy its host, and just as I neared the brink of oblivion, the blade released its hold on me. As I recovered, I realized we were now bound together in a fragile alliance. The Reaver no longer merely my symbiotic weapon, but a sentient parasite competing for control.
What have you done to me, Moebius? Is this your trap?
How mine? Don't forget it was Kain who led you here, not I. While you curse me, the only soul in Nosgoth ready to guide and assist you, Kain laughs at our folly and revels in your dismay.
These blades, now coiled in sinister embrace, have inspired terror in the hearts of creatures far more durable than you, old man. Bound together as they are, I can only imagine what they could do to your soul's fragile shell.
Raziel, I beg you to stay your hand. This was none of my doing. I have sought only to aid you in your righteous quest.
Why, you're trembling, Moebius. Has your confidence abandoned you? You seem to have made a fatal error by leaving your precious staff behind. Is that where all your courage comes from?
Listen to me, Raziel. You don't know what you're doing. I have taken an enormous risk by appearing here before you, so defenseless, yet eager to prove my good intentions. If there's anything left of the Sarafan in you, you won't do this. While you threaten me, your true enemy eludes you.
Don't concern yourself with Kain, old man. He'll join you in hell soon enough. As you said, death comes for us all.
Yes, the wheel of fate demands it.
What did you say?
The wheel of fate. The inexorable cycle of death and rebirth to which all men are compelled. We serve the same god, Raziel. To strike me down would be striking God's own attendant. And I don't believe even you would take that risk.
I tire of your games, Moebius. Now that I know you fear me, I needn't concern myself with you. Kain is waiting for me.
Go then, Raziel. Seek Kain out and destroy him in the name of the one God we both serve. You, who were once a Sarafan priest, murdered, profaned, destroyed, and reborn again from his mercy. You are now most powerfully equipped to be his agent, his instrument of restoration and retribution.
My own vengeance is motivation enough.
By my soul, you almost had me, my little blue assassin. But that'll be the one and only chance you get. I assure you of that.
I could now summon the blade at will, regardless of my strength. But once summoned, the blade's ravenous appetite could not be contained. It devoured the souls of its victims, and if I allowed it to become over-aroused, the Reaver would now turn its hunger on me.
Look at that. My life just shrank hugely. So yeah, that was a huge lore drop, wasn't it? So that was all about Blood Omen era, the start of this entire story. The idea being that two versions of the Reaver come into contact via timey-wimey stuff, causes paradoxes, and history and things can be changed. But yes, Moebius was absolutely terrified of us. I love how he just shut the gate after we walked out. I didn't actually know you could try to open it. I also love how Raziel's like, I don't want the physical blade. Just throw it on the floor. Whatever. I do like the vertigo effect as well. It's very good. Funny enough, I've experienced vertigo for the first time about a year ago. It is not fun.
So this was the legendary Janos Audron, reputed to have been the most ancient and diabolical vampire to have ever existed. According to folklore, he lived high in the cliffs of Nosgoth's northern mountains and preyed mercilessly on the defenseless villages below. His reign of terror ended when the Sarafan finally hunted him down and tore his throbbing heart from his still-living body. This relic came to be known as the Heart of Darkness, and was supposedly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife. The Sarafan therefore guarded it carefully, lest the heart fall into the hands of their enemies. But I wondered, could Janos Audron truly have been as monstrous as depicted here? Or was this merely artistic license by the Sarafan, who sought to lionize themselves by demonizing their darkest enemy?
Janos Audron. So we've learnt about Vordor, which I believe was mentioned even probably just by name in the first game. I don't think Janos was mentioned in the first game, but that was our intro there. But what I find interesting is that Kain obviously, and Moebius as well, Kain obviously told Raziel about Moebius, about Janos, about Vordor, told Raziel and his other brothers. Just found it interesting that, you know, he educated them about history and what happened in the past. A lot of what Raziel knows is from there, from Kain himself.
Strange how my history came full circle. This chapel, I realized, was a memorial to my former Sarafan brethren and myself. All of us martyred here, and then so cruelly profaned by Kain when he imposed his gift on our noble corpses. For the first time, I beheld the image of my Sarafan self, memorialized here among my fallen comrades. It tortured me to
person
see
should
how
be there.
noble and pure I had been, and what a vile phantasm I had become, and a profound sense of injury, of loss and betrayal welled up in me, so overwhelming I could barely contain it. All I wanted at this moment was to find Kain and destroy him.
Funny bug there. One of the enemies was just sat there. So yes, notice the little bar now next to the Reaver. As I use it, that moves up, and as said, once you get all the way around, the Reaver gets too overused and will start sucking my own health away. It also sucks the souls away from me, so the Reaver now takes the souls and I have no health to be filled. So you have to desummon the Soul Reaver in order to restore your health, basically. Or just don't get hit. In which case that would be easier, but no, of course I'm getting hit all the time. So yes, Raziel, this is Raziel as a human. And right now our Raziel is terribly upset about what seems to have been taken away from him. He felt he used to be this noble, righteous human warrior that was killing the vampire scourge, and he feels like that was taken away from him at the moment. And yes, here are depictions of the brothers. So Turel, which we only saw in the opening of the start of Soul Reaver, when Kain goes and presents his... when Raziel goes and presents his wings to Kain, we see him just in the corner, and I believe he's one of the ones that threw him into the abyss as well. And we only see his offspring in Soul Reaver. That's it. We don't know. We didn't see him. We don't know where he is. Interesting. Rahab. So he was the fishy one, if you remember. I love how his little motif is seahorses, like the mighty seahorses. But yes, very cool. So they've got that water theme going. Melchiah here. Obviously mostly distinctive with his bald head, so he's the one that became the first enemy that we found, the weakest brother, and falling apart and putting skin back on, etc. Melchiah there. Dumar. And he was the strongest, technically the strongest other than Turel. And if you remember, we killed him by having him chase us down and chuck him into a fire furnace. So yes, that's the brothers there. Right, what am I doing? I'm going upstairs. One thing I didn't like about Soul Reaver 2 was the change to the spectral Reaver here. I mean, the Spirit Reaver. It's very short. Now, I know in Soul Reaver it was clipping through the floor a little bit, but the Soul Reaver is a huge blade. But yeah, with Soul Reaver 2 they chose to make it quite short, I guess, so it doesn't clip through, but I did prefer it to be the longer one, and I liked the spiral effects going down the arm. It's mostly all just particles now, but it's a minor nitpick. One of my favourite cutscenes coming up.
I emerged, and for the first time beheld Nosgoth in its former glory. The land overflowed with abundant life and vitality, and I knew with certainty then that the world I had left behind was nothing more than the corpse of Nosgoth, a lifeless husk bled dry by the corruption of Kain's parasitic empire. This was the fragile world Kain sacrificed to preserve his own petty life and ambition, heedless of the profound cost. The sight only deepened my resolve. I sensed that the pillars lay to the northwest. If Kain truly waited to confront me there, I would not disappoint him.
So, the reason I just like this is it's Raziel's first time seeing a living world in his memory. And I just love his description of it being filled with life, because you remember what the first game looked like. It was nothing like this. So this is quite a eye-opening moment for Raziel to see a living world. We've even got fish. They look like rainbow trout. At least in the in the remaster graphics they do.
As I passed this arcane landmark, a wisp of the Reaver's energy was drawn into the ring, illuminating it. This created a beacon of sorts in the spirit world. If ever I found myself depleted in the spectral realm, and my soul tossed on the ethereal winds, these beacons would draw me back to safety and restore me.
It's a roundabout way of saying it's a checkpoint. So obviously in the first game, we if we died in the spirit world, you would just reappear at the Elder God. And since the story has changed now, things have changed since you went through the time stream. The Elder God's last words to you were, "You will be beyond my reach." That was what he said to you in the at the end of the first game. So that's how they've chosen to change it, really. So you'll appear at one of these points in the world instead of going to the Elder God. Because yes, his influence has changed a little bit on you. Doesn't work quite the same how it used to. Just having a little look around. Now, like I said, this game is a lot linear than Soul Reaver. A lot less secrets. You basically travel quite a short amount of time. Distance.
These ancient obelisks were mysteriously attuned to my spiritual essence. By simply touching the symbol, I could safely preserve an imprint of my soul, and thus create a milestone to which I could return when weary, and from which I could resume my journey.
So, no on-the-fly saves now. We have save places. Now, I wonder what I should save on. Yeah, I might just save over slot 1. I don't think I'm going to miss that particular save. I've always loved that hand print symbol. Just a cool effect of their cloven hands. Gosh, I really need some souls soon. See if we can get some up here. So
when I had only just escaped the Stronghold, I sensed that in time my journey would return me full circle to this place. Infiltrating the fortress, however, would be no small feat. The balcony that had provided my escape was now well beyond my reach, leaving this massive gateway as the only means of entry. The gates were sealed, but like the time-streaming chamber I had seen earlier, their operation was undoubtedly linked to that odd crystal mounted above the entrance.
Indeed. Oops-a-daisy. Had a delay in pressing X again. I've got a little bit of lag. Might be because of all my Bluetooth devices right now. There we go. So yes, we're on the way to the pillars to find Kain. Food. Oh, got me. Oh, well, there goes all my food. So I've got a definite delay in my controls here. I've come off worse than I started. I'm not the best at the combat here. We've got shooting weapons now. There's one. You've never seen anything like me. There's no there's one anything about me right now. Got dogs as well, fitted with evil weapons. Let's have a look. So they put this gigantic mace almost on this dog's head. Poor skinny dog. Yes, I try not to kill the dogs. All these crows disappearing into green mist. I've always loved the sound that they make when they disappear. It's very cool.
These vampires had nothing in common with the deranged jackals I left behind in Kain's derelict empire. They seemed to retain much of their former humanity. In this era, vampires were clearly not the uncontested predators we had been. These creatures were hunted mercilessly and oppressed. And while I still believed that vampirism was a plague and had to be wiped out, there was nothing noble or righteous in this crusade. This was simply ruthless persecution.
So yes, Raziel's starting to see things might not be as it seems. I mean, he's looking at these vampires here all stabbed on these stakes, and he's seeing that they basically look like humans. Not much difference. They're nothing compared to the Doomahim that we saw running around, the Melkahim, and all those things. Looks nothing like that. Just doing this dog. Sorry, dog. There's a secret here as well, actually. So somewhere around here, there's a deleted cutscene. We were supposed to meet some of these vampires, actually, or a person from there. And I've got to try and remember where it is. And the thing is left over, funny enough. I'll clip through the air here. Somewhere. Where is it? Ah, there we go. So this person here was a vampire NPC that we were supposed to have some dialogue with, and they actually remained even in the PlayStation 2 version of the game. Which is quite interesting. This has not been remastered either, so this is more like archaeology of how the game used to be. So yeah, this character model remained in the game, and they've obviously kept it in the remaster. Yes, so they're just in this wall. They were meant to appear up above somewhere and just sort of see you. I can't remember the dialogue exactly, but it was Raziel just looked up and they were just up there and said a brief thing, and then they ran away. So yeah, I suppose it was just to show a bit more of what the vampires are like in this time, i.e. not monsters. Hit me! Or don't. I wanted to do one more hit so I could definitely dodge, and then you just didn't want me. Yes, glad to show you that little secret there. Right. We have the most iconic cutscene now coming up. Enjoy.
pillars of Nosgoth, pristine, whole, and uncorrupted. I had never beheld them in this undefiled state, yet something profound and indelible resonated within me at the sight. And there, waiting at the very heart of the pillars, was the canker that was destined to destroy them.
I know you're there, Raziel.
Moebius led me to you, Kain, though I might have guessed you'd meet me here.
And if Moebius told you I was hidden on the underside of hell, would you throw yourself into oblivion to pursue me? Moebius trawls for the ignorant and unwary, hauling his gasping prey from the streams of their destinies. Stay out of his net, Raziel.
Spare me your elaborate metaphors, Kain. I have pursued you here for one purpose. You will pay for your betrayal, and balance will thus be restored to Nosgoth.
And whose will is satisfied then? The will of Raziel or Moebius?
Would I be better manipulated by you, Kain? Now, turn and face me. The chase is over.
This isn't a chase, Raziel. We are merely passengers on the wheel of destiny, describing a perfect circle to this point. We've been brought here for a reason. I've seen the beginning and the end of our story, however, and the tale is crude and ill-conceived. We must rewrite the ending of it. You and I.
Face me, Kain. Even you shouldn't die a coward's death.
Isn't it customary to grant the condemned a final request?
I recall no such courtesy from you.
Indulge me, Raziel. All I ask is that you listen. This is the sublime moment of our undoing, Raziel. The ineffable fulcrum upon which swings the entirety of our history. This is where all of Nosgoth is betrayed. In this instant, Ariel, the Balance Guardian, is murdered by dark forces bent on overthrowing the pillars. Her spirit is just now tearing free, lost in the ether, trying to find its way here. You have already seen how she comes to haunt these pillars.
Bound here by your refusal to die. You are the reason this land becomes diseased. As long as you remain alive, you condemn Nosgoth to an eternity of decay.
Be still, Raziel. See this. As Ariel dies, I am being born to take her place as Balance Guardian. Such is my destiny.
My God.
At the moment of my first cry, Ariel's beloved, the Guardian Nupraptor, finds her corpse. Racked with grief and tormented by suspicions of treachery, Nupraptor plunges into a madness which overflows and infects all of the Guardians who are symbiotically bound, including me. The repercussions of Ariel's assassination were expertly calculated. The entire circle descends into madness, and I am tainted at the moment of my birth, instantly rendered incapable of fulfilling the role destiny has prepared for me.
Shall I show you the same mercy you showed the rest of the circle, then? You blithely murdered them to restore their pillars, yet your hand faltered when it came to the final sacrifice. What makes you exempt, Kain? You're merely the last man standing. Why condemn me for simply carrying out what you hadn't the courage to do yourself?
Let's drop the moral posturing, shall we? We both know there's no altruism in this pursuit. Your reckless indignation led you here. I counted on it. There's no shame in it, Raziel. Revenge is motivation enough. At least it's honest. Hate me, but do it honestly. 30 years hence, I am presented with a dilemma. Let's call it a two-sided coin. If the coin falls one way, I sacrifice myself and thus restore the pillars. But as the last surviving vampire in Nosgoth, this would mean the annihilation of our species. Moebius made sure of that. If the coin lands on the reverse, I refuse the sacrifice and thus doom the pillars to an eternity of collapse. Either way, the game is rigged.
We agree then that the pillars are crucial and must be restored.
Yes, Raziel. And that's why we've come full circle to this place.
So after all this, you make my case for me. To end this stalemate, you must die so that new Guardians can be born.
Pillars don't belong to them, Raziel. They belong to us.
Your arrogance is boundless, Kain.
There's a third option. A monumental secret, hidden in your very presence here. But it's a secret you have to discover for yourself. Unearth your destiny, Raziel. It's all laid out for you here.
You said it yourself, Kain. There are only two sides to your coin.
Apparently so. But suppose you throw a coin enough times. Suppose one day it lands on its edge.
Wow. The coin lands on its edge. Speech. Honestly, incredible. So, quite a few things revealed there. We've got a little history lesson on Kain's life. And how the very, very first game, Blood Omen, was played out. And he killed all of the corrupted Pillar Guardians, which were all the humans that were all tied to these pillars, that are all tied to the balance of the whole world. Look at them going up forever. And yeah, he explained it, what happened. So basically, he technically was supposed to kill himself at the end of Blood Omen. You even had a choice in the game. The canon ending was you don't kill yourself and the pillars explode and topple, as I talked about in the first playthrough. But he was right, there was no other vampires, and there is more to this story. It would be detrimental to lose all vampires, and we will find out why eventually.
I didn't know what impulse stayed my hand, why I had so willingly allowed Kain to escape me when I had pursued him for so long. I had no reason to trust Kain after he had valued me so little, and yet I found myself intrigued by his words. I had been too cruelly used to so gullibly play his pawn. But if this world truly had secrets to divulge, I was determined to expose them.
Yes. Raziel is starting to try to think for himself. Notice how he does throw himself almost blindly into his beliefs, which is quite a tragic thing for his character, as we all learn as we go through. But you know, he served Kain faithfully for 1,000 years as a vampire. Kain betrays him and kills him, and he full-heartedly throws himself into revenge and killing all his brethren. Pause that there. Sort of show the updated Sluar. So they obviously got a massive update from PlayStation 1 Soul Reaver, and then even further details for the remastered version. But yes, so he was intrigued about what Kain was telling him, and I did like the part about you can hate me if you just want revenge, that's fine, but you must do it honestly. So he was basically saying to Raziel, do you really blame me for choosing not to kill myself or choosing the path that I have chosen? Is that what you hate me for, or is it more simple than that? The moral posturing saying that you're righteous and stuff.
From the moment of my arrival, I had the constant and palpable sensation of being watched. Someone, it seemed, was keenly interested in my presence here.
So yes, so Raziel's noticed these crows. He obviously has a sense of something from them. They're not just normal crows. There's something going on with them.
From the look of it, this door had been sealed for centuries. I began to realize it was no mere coincidence that I found myself standing here, beneath this winged figure with blue skin and cloven hands so like my own, and bearing this unique key. And so it was with a sense of gravity and trepidation that I unsealed that ancient door and crossed the threshold.
More secrets. Yes, a winged blue being with cloven hands. Looks just like Janos. Hello. These guys should be attacking me right now. How fantastic that they're not. We can have a look at them. So yeah, these shadow demons. How cool. I've always loved this asset here with this yellow crystal and these plants around them. They sort of light the way in this area. I don't know why these guys aren't attacking me, but this is great. They have an attack where they throw like, they make a weird noise and they throw like a particle effect at you. Funny enough, I used to play Elder Scrolls Online, and in the housing you could build like your own houses and stuff. There's an asset that looks just like this crystal, and some flowers that look the same, and in one of my builds, I think I've even got a video of it on my channel, called The Crystal Abode, and it's just showcased in my house, and I made a whole crystal garden, and put a lot of things looking just like that. It just reminded me so much of SR2 2. So we've got the combat music playing. There it goes. Dimmed down. There's whispers of Raziel. And familiar music.
As I entered the chamber, I sensed that it had been sealed for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years. And while this room was clearly built when the pillars were erected, I knew that no human hand could have shaped this place, and that perhaps it had never been seen by human eyes. The surrounding murals depicted a winged race, their features so like my own, but beautiful, where mine were grotesque, and angelic, while mine were demonic. I tried to decipher these images. A great war, but with combatants like none I had ever seen. The pillars, raised by this winged race, who thus defeated their adversaries. The winged beings again, writhing in agony, apparently afflicted with the same bloodthirst I had so recently suffered. And throughout the chamber, inscribed everywhere, images of the Reaver itself. Was this what Kain had urged me to discover? I wondered.
Lies, Raziel.
We know that voice.
Do not be deceived.
Ah, my ancient benefactor. And I dared to hope we had parted ways forever. Silence was refreshing, but it lasted. No doubt you have a conveniently inexpressible reason for your presence here.
Do not be insolent, Raziel. I am eternally present here and everywhere, now and always. I am the still center of the turning wheel, the hub of this world's destiny.
But perhaps not so omnipotent as you'd have me believe. Your hold on me appears to be tenuous. I no longer seem to need you. Yet I'm guessing you still need me.
This impudence is unworthy of you, Raziel. Do not forget that you have a task to fulfill here. You are indebted to me.
Indebted? You would have me show gratitude for a gift I didn't ask to be bestowed. Do you forget that you forced me to inhabit this vile carcass?
I restored you to yourself, Raziel. It was Kain who destroyed you. The very enemy you've just let slip through your grasp. Do not fail me, my servant.
I serve no one. Not you, not Kain, and not your lackey Moebius.
Moebius is my good servant. I have many.
And if I tell Moebius that he's worshipping a giant squid, do you think his faith will falter?
You have grown willful, Raziel. But beware. To embrace a serpent is to invite poison into your heart. Kain is a sinuous beast. He will seduce and deceive you. You pride yourself on your free will, yet you let that degenerate deter your resolve.
I harbor no illusions about his integrity, nor anyone else's. In fact, I am beset by manipulation on all sides. I merely seek the truth.
These are the fathomless truths, Raziel. The agony of birth and death and rebirth. This is the wheel of fate, the purifying cycle which sustains all life. Vampires are an abomination, a plague which leeches this land of its spiritual strength. They obstruct the flow of life and death. Their souls stagnate in their wretched corpses. But the wheel must turn. Death is inexorable and cannot be denied. Your destiny is irresistible, Raziel. You are my soul reaver, the scourge of the vampires, reaper of their apostate souls. Remain steadfast, end the vampire's parasitic curse, and restore Nosgoth. Kain's blood belongs on your hands.
Kain indeed deserves to die for condemning me to this repugnant form. But if and when I kill him, it will be for me alone to decide.
Kain destroyed you without a flicker of remorse. He tore the soul from your noble corpse, and after you had served him faithfully for 1,000 years, he discarded you in the abyss on a jealous whim. Remember your rage, Raziel. Let it guide your hand.
So I've always found it quite interesting, Raziel's rebellion against the Elder God. You know, if you've so soon just played through Soul Reaver and he was always there, and even Raziel made a joke about how the silence was refreshing because the Elder God would always come in with advice and things. Raziel was quite a silent person going through the first game and just listened to the Elder God. But here, like he said, he is a lot more willful and he's starting to feel the manipulations from all sides. The entire series could practically be called the manipulation of Raziel. That's basically what it all is about. But he's realising it a little bit now, which is good. But yes, he's not happy with the Elder God at all, and the Elder God's not happy with him either. It's quite interesting. And yes, we've got some more lore now about this ancient race. They made the pillars and made the Soul Reaver too. There's something going on with this whole bloodlust thing. Notice that came after they raised the pillars. Anyway, so that's about an hour, so I'll stop this first playthrough there. Thank you very much for watching. So I'll upload as and when I can edit these videos together. Again, if you haven't seen me play through the first game, I highly recommend watching that. I've got a much better intro and I show some photos over like my art, my collection, my things to do with the game over the years. Me playing with my stepdad because I used to watch him play it, because obviously I was only about 7 or 8 when it first came out, but I did play it then. But yeah, lots of little personal anecdotes about the game and things that I like, and I also go over the development and things like that, just because I love the game so much, and I love this one too, so I'm happy to be playing through it. And hopefully, if some of you watch the first series, hopefully you're still stuck around and can see me play through the second game now. And now we've got the remaster of Defiance on the way, the third and final game in the series. Hopefully I'll replay that. Now, I don't know Defiance as well as the others. I've played the other games much more. Defiance I've probably only played a handful of times, so that's what I know the least. So the puzzles I probably will struggle on those, but anyway, we'll figure it out. So yes, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.